Let's talk about poker. It's this incredible mix of strategy, psychology, and, yeah, pure chance. But underneath it all, there's this age-old question that has fueled countless debates. Is poker a game of skill, or is it just a game of luck? Picture this. You're at the final table of a huge tournament. A royal flush hits the board on the river. Now, was that a masterful, strategic play, or was it just the luckiest draw in history? That exact tension is what we're going to unpack right now. All right, so to really figure this out, we've got to look at both sides of the coin. And we're going to start with the most obvious, and sometimes the most powerful, part of any card game, the luck of the draw. On one side, you've got people who swear it's a pure gamble, where fate just decides who wins. But on the other, you've got people who say, no way, it's a strategic battle, where the sharpest mind is going to prevail. It's an argument that plays out really at every single poker table in the world. Okay, so let's make the case for pure chance. And this makes sense, right? This is the argument that every new player starts with because, let's be honest, it's the most visible part of the game when you're just starting out. And look, there's just no denying it. You cannot control the cards you get. The shuffle is totally random. A complete beginner can get dealt pocket aces and win a massive pot against a seasoned pro. For a single hand, or heck, even for a whole night, luck can feel like the only thing that matters. But, and this is a huge but, that's only where the story begins. Because you see, while luck absolutely deals the cards, skill is what separates the casual player from the true champion. And it's not just one thing. It's more like a toolkit of core disciplines that really define the game. These are the fundamentals. They range from the really mathematical stuff, like calculating odds and probabilities, all the way to the psychological side, like reading your opponents and managing your own image at the table. These are the skills that winning players work on relentlessly. Let's zoom in on a couple of them. This is where things get really interesting. See, pros don't just have a feeling. They are constantly doing the math. They think in terms of something called expected value, or EV for short. They're not trying to win every single hand. What they're really trying to do is make the decision that, if they made it 1,000 times, would be the most profitable. It's all about playing the long game of odds, not just the two cards in front of you. But here's the thing. Poker isn't just a numbers game played in a vacuum. It's played against people. Skilled players are masters of observation. They're spotting tells, they're recognizing betting patterns, and they're carefully building their own table image to mess with their opponents. It is a true psychological battlefield. So how do we actually know that skill is the dominant factor here? Well, the evidence isn't found in a single flashy hand. You have to zoom out and focus on the long game. I mean, think about it. If poker were all luck, the top players would change every single year. But that's not what we see. We see the same legends, guys like Daniel Negreanu and Phil Ivey, at the top year after year after year. They aren't just getting lucky. Their skill is so sharp that it overcomes what players call variance. You know, the natural short-term ups and downs that are caused by pure chance. And this, right here, is what that looks like. In the short term, anyone's results can be a total roller coaster. That's the variance we were talking about. But over the long term, a skilled player's results show this clear, steady, upward trend. Skill is the force that smooths out all those chaotic bumps of luck over time. It creates a predictable pattern of success. And you know, this isn't just some philosophical debate we're having. This has major, real-world consequences. A lot of legal systems have had to weigh in, and they often define poker as a game of skill. That distinction is what legally separates it from games of pure chance, like roulette. Okay, we've seen the undeniable role of chance, and we've explored the deep foundations of skill. So, where does that leave us? Let's get to the final verdict. After all the math, the psychology, and looking at the long-term results of the pros, can we just say that poker is 100% skill? The answer is a definitive no. Here's probably the best way to think about it. Luck is like the chaotic guest who shows up and determines the outcome of a single hand. But skill? Skill is the host who, over the course of a career, makes sure they come out ahead. This is the core truth of the game. Luck determines what happens in the short term, but skill always determines long-term success. And this really shifts our whole focus, doesn't it? It moves us away from the cards we're dealt to the strategy we use. So the real question isn't whether you'll get a lucky hand. The real question is, do you have the discipline and the knowledge to play the long game? Because in poker, and hey, maybe in a lot of other things too, that's where the real winning happens.